Hello, welcome to Aarhus. I've been, since I got my vaccinations, I've been out. I've been to see my family, and I went to confirmation for my cousin. I've done little things, but this is the first time I've been out of town and walked down a main street and acted like the world was normal again. I'm really lucky at where I live. Vaccination rates are high. People are taking it seriously. People are getting vaccinated. We don't have a huge contact number, and the pandemic is mostly under control. And this, walking here, in a place I used to study here at university. I don't live here anymore. But just walking down this street, this promenade, as though the world is normal. Yeah, that's actually, emotionally, that's actually kind of a big deal for me. Because it's the first time in a long time I have felt not afraid in a crowd of people. So that's kind of a big deal. And the reason I'm here is that my dad took me out for dinner, which was very nice of him. He travels for work a lot to various offices, having meetings with people and so on. And sometimes he's up here in Aarhus, where he'll invite me out for a bit of dinner. And there is nothing in the world, I tell you friends, that tastes better than a steak, a really good steak, that you don't have to pay for. Although I did have to pay for the train ticket to get here, which is 45 minutes each way? Something like that. So it's not like it was free, but still, you know what I mean. So that was very nice. It's also nice to catch up with him, hear about what my sisters are doing. I've got 3 sisters. One of them biological, and the other 2 through my dad's second marriage. And I don't necessarily get to be in touch with them that much because, again, I live so fucking far away from most of my family that, it's nice to catch up with my dad, hear some updates about how they're getting on with the house and what's going on with the dog and how my sister's working. One of my sisters works in the film industry. She's she started out as a set rigger and gaffer and doing stuff on set, and now she's I think a production designer, something like that. She's constantly busy. Got another sister who works in intellectual property, and my sister who's a costume designer, who seems to have gotten a bunch of work recently, which is nice to hear. Very nice to hear. It's just nice to catch up with family, just hear how they're doing and feel normal again, because I used to do this a lot more, in the long ago before times. This used to be such a frequent normal thing, and this is the first time in a very long time that the world has felt a little bit normal. I mean, I still don't like being close to a lot of people. When I get on the train, I will try and find a seat, away from folks, but yeah, this is really nice. And I really because I know my friends who live in the US especially, and just broadly other places where vaccination rates are low, or lots of anti-vaxxers, or the miserable hellscape that is the United States and their approach to healthcare. And I really am fucking privileged. This is just luck. luck of the draw. Got born in a lucky location. I hope everyone gets this soon, because you don't know how much of a relief it is until you get it. Like, I'm just outside, I'm just walking. I don't have to worry that I'll die. Oop. Which is kind of a big deal. So anyway, I had a thing I wanted to talk about. What the hell was it? The train leaves in, what, 5 minutes? Yeah. Okay, better find where it is then. 1950. Track 2. Well, that's easy. And there it is. Convenient. I forgot to check out. Thank you. And it should be mostly empty. Most people get off here. So that's nice. Oh shit, they did decouple the train. Right. Doi. Right. I forgot about that. They decouple a couple of cars when they get here. That's true. Anywho, take 2. Let's try it again. Yep, I'll grab a seat right here. Ugh. It's in the hallway next to the toilet, so, you know, but that means no company. Usually, anyway. Mostly so I don't bother people by vlogging, you know. So, weather's been crap all day. But this was worth braving it. Anyway, I was saying something. I had a thing. What was the thing that I had? Oh, right, the channels. Yeah, so if you're curious about the work, I've got Bloodborne that I really need to get back to. Like, I really need to get back to it. But it just keeps getting pushed because I've got... Well, first because I really wanted to like get the main channel, get the shorts channel pushed ahead, and now I've got that. I've got the shorts channel filled up. There's going to be a video every day until September. Until the 1st of September, videos every single day. Oh, I can't show you out the window because then my face would be reflected. Oh, bummer. And that took a lot of time and doing, and I came up with like the idea of another series on top of everything else, like the gender swap shorts. They showed up in my head and wouldn't leave me alone, so I had to make them on top of everything else, so that took a lot of time. I've been putting a ton of effort into the Let's Play channel as well. I've been putting a lot of efforts into the Let's Play channel, which, like, from a business perspective is a terrible idea because that channel only has 12,000 subscribers and it doesn't make a ton of money. And yeah, I know. The doors are closing, I get it. Right, I've got my editor who was working with me on Skyward Sword, and I'm paying for that editing, and now I've also picked up a second editor who was working with me on another thing, which is going to go public a couple of weeks, something like that. And again, doing all of that and paying for that extra help, it's pretty expensive, and it costs a lot more than those videos make actually in terms of revenue. And it's just being paid for by... Would you like to close the door when you leave the bathroom? Jesus. It's being paid for by the main channel, mostly. Because like that channel is doing well, the Patreon is doing well. I have a little bit of extra money. And so I'm investing it in, like, not in my main channel, which is if I had any business sense at all, what I would do if I was a smart person who knew stuff about, you know, spending money wisely and investing and so on. I would invest that money into help with producing more videos on the main channel so that we don't go 2 or 3 weeks between uploads over there. But no, I decided that I really wanted nice editing in my Let's Play videos. Because I spend an unreasonable amount of time making those. I really do. Like, way more than I should. But it's my de-stressing. It's how I uncouple. Like, just sitting down playing video games, talking bullshit over them, without worrying about analysis and shit.
Af hensyn til sikkerheden i toget, må der ikke være bagage i midtergangen og ved dørene. Du kan sætte dine ting imellem, over eller under sæderne. Husk også, at dørene lukker, når fløjten lyder.
Rude, interrupting me like that. But yeah, I've been sinking a lot of time into that, and a lot of effort into it, which just is not going to pay off financially at all. Because I am not a rational actor. I really genuinely do not do this well, no, that's partly bullshit. I absolutely do it for the money, because like I need rent to live, you know, I need food and shit, so absolutely I do it for the money, but I'm not in it to get rich, because if I was, I'd be smarter about my investments instead of spending, yeah, I mean, several $100s a month on paying editors on my second channel. Which is a very silly thing to do, but here we are. And like, I guess the reason why that's on my mind is like recently, because the channel is growing bigger, and people are starting to see me more and more as a celebrity, micro-celebrity, I suppose, in the sense of like, oh, he has a YouTube channel with X number of subscribers. That means, you know, that means whatever. Like, people have started, like, it's a process, like, it's a long process. I've seen that happen as the channel has been growing. People talk about me more and more as a name rather than a person, you know? Where, like, I've had people, like, sort of DM me, like, oh, these people are, like, they have this thread and they're talking about your videos and they're talking shit and stuff, where I've kind of had to tell a couple of people, like, hi, excuse me, anyway, people talk about me more and more as a name, right? As a brand more than a person. And it gets to me, rather, a little bit. I was about to say it gets on my nerves, but it doesn't. Like, it doesn't make me angry, it makes me sad. Because I really don't like that. Like, when people, like, especially when someone feels like, oh, these people are talking about his stuff, I should probably let him know that there's this thing going. Because I can't join that conversation. Like I have 20,000 followers on Twitter. I can't, if I go and reply to someone who's being critical of me, which they have the right to be, like, the Twitter algorithm is gonna go, oh, that reply, we should show it to his followers. And then, you know, people who follow me and who really like my videos might show up and they'll start to argue. And, you know, shit will get out of control really quickly. I've seen it happen, like, with friends who are also working in the YouTube space. Like, if you engage with any of it, you can start a dog pile without meaning to. And so, like, I've only ever created more and more filters on Twitter. Like, just filters for, like, for keywords and phrases and things that I know are like, oh, yeah, no, that's bad news. Like, this thing is gonna start, like, this phrase gets brought up if someone just wants to start shit. That is like, this is not someone who's interested in engaging with me in any kind of productive way. They just want to start a fight. They want to have an argument. They want to talk shit at me. And they have the right to do that. They're more than welcome to do it, but I don't care much to see it on my Twitter. So I filtered that out for a while. It died down, so I could finally get rid of that filter. But I had to bubble up, like really make a filter bubble much more than I've ever had to in my life to make Twitter usable. Like, rather than a place where everything like if I tweet something about a League of Legends character design, I get like 4 quote tweets from someone like being mad at me for having an opinion. Like, I saw that recently, like something I did stumble on was someone like being kind of annoyed that people seem to take my videos way too seriously. Which, like, yeah, I kind of get that, because I'm kind of annoyed that people take my videos way too seriously. Like, they were annoyed, and I think rightfully so, that people sort of, like, when I put out a video about something, there will be some people who sort of take it as gospel. Or, like, if I say a negative thing about a skin, like, they'll take that really hard, because, again, they think of me as a name. Or, like, somewhere in someone's head I occupy some kind of celebrity space. And oh no, like the popular guy with a lot of subscribers said a bad thing about the thing I like, and they sort of take that really hard, and they really shouldn't. Like, no one should. Like, and it's a hard thing to argue, because as far as I'm concerned, everything I put out is an opinion. It's a critical opinion. I try to back my arguments up. Like, I try to back my opinions up with arguments, and I try to construct something that's like reasonable. But it is just an opinion. Like, it's not. There's no gospel. There's no one holy truth of which I am the prophet. But there are people who respond to me making a video, either a video that's critical of a thing they like, or that praises a thing they dislike, with this thing as though my opinion carries special weight. Like, as though my opinion is like, it's especially important to challenge my opinion, or publicly reflect on my opinion, which is that's a weird thing to have happen to you, to have other people consider your opinion more important than just a person's opinion. Like, whether that's good or bad, like, there's a lot of people who have this really, well, I don't know if it's a lot. Like, it's really hard to tell online. That might just be my ego talking, really. It might just be a few people, for all I know. But there are people, indeterminate number, who have this really strong parasocial negative relationship to me. Which is also a parasocial relationship. Like, this one fucking person who, like, I think it was, I posted, like, a meme from my Discord. Oh, yeah. It was a meme from my Discord where it was that meme of death going from door to door, and, like, the death was labeled Riot, and on the doors were pictures of champions that used to have masks, and now the masks have come off. And I thought, hey, that was a pretty funny meme, because Riot has been unmasking their champions a lot. So, hey, it's pretty funny. I'll post that on Twitter. And then someone quote tweeted that with, like, this weird ass, like, they had this thing of, like, you must have self-confidence issues because you hate beautiful people. Which I think it was generally a response to the actual fact that I criticize champions and character designs for being attractive by default. Like, for just like, oh, here's a champion, I don't know, let's just make him hot, because, I don't know, like, just because it's, like, defaulting to appeal. And this person seems to have taken that and run with it to, like, the point of, like, oh, the reason why he has that opinion must be because he himself has self-confidence issues. Like, oh, he's resentful of these character designs for being beautiful because he is ugly. Something along those lines. Which is an insane thing to tweet about a stranger. Like, I'm not crazy here, right? That's an insane thing to tweet about a stranger whom you have never talked to. And you don't, like, I didn't know this person. I haven't exchanged, well, I mean, maybe they're on my Discord, who the fuck knows? But to the best of my knowledge, I've never spoken to them or exchanged any in like any kind of conversation with them. Has this button been undone the whole time? What the hell? Have I been flashing belly in this vlog for free? I'm reserving that for my OnlyFans. Like, that's an insane thing to tweet about a stranger, right? Like this sort of pseudo-Freud psychoanalysis thing. And the irony is, the only reason why I saw that quote tweet, because I have pretty fucking solid filters against it, is because that person themselves decided to go on Curious Cat and tell me about this quote tweet on the assumption that that quote tweet was the reason why I had blocked someone or something. Like, that's the only reason why I saw it, is because they felt so strongly that my behavior must be about them, that they were like, oh, you must have seen my quote tweet, and it must have made you make these decisions, sort of in the same way of like, oh, well, like the same sort of psychotic insistence on insight into my psyche as tweeting to a stranger, the reason why you dislike character designs that are hot by default is because you yourself think you are ugly. And that's a parasocial relationship as well. Like, we talk about parasocial relationships online a lot in terms of like when someone forms a parasocial relationship with a creator that they like, and they get this weird investment in the idea that, like, that there's some kind of connection, or that the creator owes them time because, like, oh, I put all this time into the relationship and you're not putting time back. But that goes the other way as well. Like, you can have a very negative, very hateful parasocial relationship to a creator where you imagine that you have like special psychological insight into them, or that like you've watched enough of their videos or read enough of their articles or whatever, that I know how you think. Like, I know what's going on in your head. I know your psychological issues. I know your deepest, darkest secret motivations, and I shall expose them to the world so that they too shall know you for the fraud that you are, or whatever the fuck the motivation is. And so, yeah, that gets to me, as I do believe it would get to pretty much anyone. Because, like, from my perspective, the way that I live, I'm a guy in his bedroom making opinion videos about video games. Like there's a pretty hard limit to how important my opinions about anything should be considered. I don't have an office. Like, I can't even afford a fucking apartment with an office. Well, I don't know, maybe I could afford it if I didn't spend all that money on having editors on my Let's Play channel, but, like, I don't have an office. I have one room, and my bed is there, and my computer is there, and my bookcase, and my closet, and my pets, and that's it. Like, share that apartment with another person. So, like, it's just, to me, like, because it's such a conflict between how I feel as a person is that I'm just some guy with video game opinions, like researched opinions, like opinions that I try and back up, but like just one guy with video games opinions. And then there are people otherwise who see me as this thing which is not just a person, like this thing that is a brand, this thing that is a name, this thing that is, and I'm gonna insist on calling it a micro celebrity, because like 100,000 YouTube subscribers, that's not, in the grand scheme of things, a lot. Like, that, where I occupy this non-person space. Instead of being a person, I'm an other thing. And that's, most days it doesn't get to me, because again, lots of Twitter filters, I don't see like 99% of that shit, and I don't engage with it when I see it. But some days, like, I get depressed or I get angry. Some days I get quite angry, like with people who, like these online randos, people I've never talked to, who presume to know me, to presume to know my mind, and like diagnose me with psychological issues or whatever. Like, fuck you. Like, fuck off, go to hell, and suck on Satan's dick forever. Because, like, why would you tweet that to a fucking stranger? Like, Do you not see how deranged that is? Like, to have such a strong emotional reaction to some guy posting a take on Twitter.com. Like, I encourage everyone to see me as just some guy. Like, don't see my opinions as more important than that. If they resonate with you, if you enjoy the work I make, by all means, enjoy it, but I am just some guy. Like, really, truly, genuinely, and honestly, I am just some guy. You don't have to take any of my opinions more seriously than that if you don't want to. And I promise you that whatever influence you imagine that I have, like I probably have some, because 100,000 YouTube subscribers, whatever. But I promise you it's less than you think. Like, I promise you it's less than you think. Like, my God, you don't need to worry that me posting oh, this skin is bad take about a skin line that you like, that's not gonna, like, they're gonna make more of it if it makes money. They don't give a shit what I think. Like, no one at Riot does. Like, if I have negative opinions about character design in League of Legends, trust me, my opinion is not gonna swing anything at Riot. Like, not gonna happen. Don't you worry about that. Yeah, so I think that's the totality of what's been on my mind. I really hope you can hear anything I say out here, because it's a lot of engine noise. But yeah, it's nice to go back to normalcy, and in contrast with that, it's fucking weird to be on Twitter.com and treat it like a brand, because I would not like to be that. Yeah, I think that's it.